everyone. Welcome back to English Daily Podcast. My name is Alex. I am 25 years old, and yes, I still forget where I put my phone while holding it in my hand. Today's episode is going to be fun, relaxed, and a little bit deep, but do not worry, not too deep. We are not solving the meaning of life, unless we have time at the end. So today we are talking about something interesting. Why your life is probably more interesting than you think. I know what you are thinking. Alex, my life is boring. I wake up, I eat, I work, I scroll, I sleep, repeat. First of all, respect. That is a very organized life. Second, you might be wrong. Let me explain. When you watch movies or TV shows, what do you see? You see drama, adventure, love, problems, and plot twists. But here is the funny thing. Those stories are made from normal life situations. In real life, you miss the bus. In a movie, you miss the bus, and suddenly your life changes completely. So yes, movies are more dramatic, but the base of the story is the same. Your life also has goals, problems, relationships, funny moments, and awkward moments, especially awkward moments. So why do we think our life is boring? Because we compare it to highlights. Let us talk about social media. You open your phone and you see someone on a beach, someone drinking coffee in a perfect cafe, someone working remotely, but probably just taking photos for 2 hours. And you think, wow, their life is amazing. But that is not their whole life. That is just a small part. The rest of the time, they are also tired. They also forget things. They also do nothing sometimes. No one posts, I spent 40 minutes looking for my keys, but that happens all the time. Let me tell you a story. Last week, I decided to be productive, which was already a risky decision. I made a list. Go to the gym, buy groceries, clean the apartment, learn something new, become a better person. Very simple, right? So I went to the gym feeling confident. I scanned my card. Nothing happened. I tried again. Nothing happened. The guy at the desk looked at me and said, "Sir, this is not your gym." Turns out I went to the wrong location. Same brand, different place. So yes, I exercised that day. I exercised my confusion. You might think that is just a mistake, but it is also a story. If you tell someone, "I went to the wrong gym," they will laugh. You will laugh. And suddenly your boring day becomes interesting. Life is not about big events. It is about small moments. The more attention you pay, the more interesting your life becomes. Try something simple today. After listening to this, ask yourself, what was one funny or strange thing that happened today? Maybe someone said something weird. Maybe you made a small mistake. Maybe you saw something unusual. That is your story. You do not need something big. You just need attention. People are the most interesting part of life. You can go to a beautiful place, but if the people are boring, the experience becomes boring. But you can sit in a simple place with funny people, and suddenly everything becomes exciting. People create stories, and you are also part of someone else's story, which is actually pretty cool. I have a friend. His name is Mark. He is a great person, but also a professional problem creator. One time we went to a restaurant. Very simple situation. You sit, you eat, you leave. But Mark ordered soup, and when the waiter brought it, he asked, "Is this soup emotional?" The waiter just stood there, confused, probably questioning his life choices. So yes, dinner became very entertaining. Let us connect this to learning English. Many students think their English is not good enough, but you do not need perfect English to have interesting conversations. You need simple sentences, confidence, and a bit of humor. Instead of saying something complicated, just say, "My English is not perfect, but I am trying." That is natural, and people like it. Mistakes are also important because they create stories. One time I wanted to say, "I'm full after eating," but I said, "I am pregnant. I am a 25-year-old man," so that was a surprise for everyone. People laughed. I laughed. And now it is a story. Here is the real idea. Your life is not boring. You are just not telling the story. When you start noticing things and sharing moments, your life becomes more interesting. Not because it changes, but because your perspective changes. Let us practice a little. Repeat after me. Something funny happened today. I made a small mistake. It was a strange moment, but now it is a good story. Again, something funny happened today. I made a small mistake. Now it is a good story. Before we finish, I want you to remember this. You do not need an exciting life to tell interesting stories. You need attention, humor, and honesty. Today, I want to talk more about your daily routine. I know it sounds boring, routine. The word itself feels slow, but actually your routine is full of stories. Most people think routine means nothing interesting happens. You wake up, you go to work, you come home, and you repeat. But that is not true. Interesting things happen every day. The problem is we do not notice them. Let me explain. Imagine this situation. You go to a shop. You want to buy something simple. Maybe water, maybe snacks. You go to the counter, you pay, and everything is normal. But suddenly, something small happens. The cashier says your name wrong, or you drop your money, or you say thank you at the wrong time. These small moments feel unimportant, but later they become stories. One time I went to a cafe and ordered a coffee. The barista asked my name. I said, Alex. When I got my coffee, I looked at the cup. It said, Alexis. So now I'm a different person. New name, new life, maybe new personality. I thought about correcting it, but honestly, I was too tired, so I accepted it. For 10 minutes, I lived as Alexis. Again, small moment. But now it is a story. This is what I want you to understand. Life is not boring. You just need to pay attention. Let us talk about awkward moments, because everyone has them. Have you ever waved at someone and they were not waving at you? So now you are just standing there, smiling at nothing, like you are greeting the air. Or when someone says, enjoy your meal, and you answer, you too. Why would they eat your food? That does not make sense, but we all do it. These moments feel uncomfortable, but they are actually very useful. They are funny. They are real. They are perfect for conversation. If you can tell these stories in English, you are already communicating well. Let us practice a simple structure. You can say, something funny happened today. Then you explain, I went to a cafe, I ordered a drink. They wrote my name wrong. Then you finish. It was strange, but funny. That is enough. You do not need perfect grammar. You need clear ideas. Now let us talk about confidence again. Many learners think confidence comes first. They think, when I feel confident, I will speak. But it works the opposite way. You speak first, and then confidence grows. If you wait, you will wait forever. So next time you have a chance to speak English, do not think too much. Just start. Even if your sentence is simple, it is okay. For example, instead of trying to say a very complex sentence, just say, today was interesting. Then add one more sentence, I made a mistake. Then add another one, but it was funny. Step by step, you build your story. Now I want to tell you another real situation. One day, I was in a hurry. I needed to go somewhere quickly. I got into a taxi and I said the address. The driver started driving. After 10 minutes, I noticed something strange. The place looked unfamiliar. I checked my phone. I realized I gave the wrong address, so I said, sorry, this is wrong. The driver looked at me like, why are you like this? We had to turn around. More time, more money, more stress. But later, I told this story to a friend, and we laughed. In the moment, it was a problem. Later, it was a story. This is a very important idea. Problems can become stories. Mistakes can become stories. Even boring days can become stories. It depends on how you see them. Now let us make a small daily habit. At the end of your day, ask yourself 3 questions. What made me smile today? What was a little strange? What can I tell someone about today? If you answer these questions every day, you will always have something to say in English, and speaking will become easier. Now let me tell you about something we all do, overthinking. You want to say something in English, but your brain starts working too much. Is this correct? Is this the right word? Is my grammar good? And then you say nothing. This is the problem. Communication is not about being perfect. It is about being understood. If people understand you, you are successful, even if your grammar is not perfect. So try this rule. Speak first, improve later, say something simple, then fix it next time. This is how progress happens. Now let us do a short repetition practice. Repeat after me. I can speak English. My sentences do not need to be perfect. I can share my story. Again, I can speak English. My sentences do not need to be perfect. I can share my story. Good. Now think about your day today. Maybe something small happened. Maybe something a little funny. Try to say it in English now. Today It was funny because that is your practice. That is real English. Before we finish, I want to remind you of one thing. Your life does not need to be exciting to be interesting. You do not need big events, you just need to notice small moments. And when you notice them, you can talk about them. Now I want to go a little deeper into something very simple, but very powerful. The way you talk to yourself. Yes, your inner voice. Every day, you have thoughts. Many thoughts. Some of them are useful, some of them are not. For example, you might think, my English is not good. Or, I always make mistakes. Or, I am not confident. And when you repeat these thoughts again and again, they become your reality. But here is the important part. You can change this. Instead of saying, my English is bad, you can say, my English is improving. Instead of saying, I make too many mistakes, you can say, I am learning from my mistakes. This is not just positive thinking. This is training your brain, because your brain listens to you. If you tell it that you cannot do something, it will believe you. If you tell it that you are improving, it will help you improve. Now let me give you a small, real example. One time, I was trying to explain something in English and I could not find the right word. I stopped. I felt a little uncomfortable, and my first thought was, this is bad, I sound stupid. But then I changed it. I said, okay, I do not know this word, but I can explain it in a different way. And I continued speaking. I used simple words, different words, and the person understood me. That moment changed something. I realized that communication is not about knowing every word. It is about finding a way to express your idea. Now think about this. Even in your native language, do you always use perfect words? No. Sometimes you forget words. Sometimes you explain things in a different way. That is normal. So why do you expect perfection in English? Let us be realistic. You are learning, and learning includes mistakes, pauses, and simple language, and that is okay. Now let us talk about another important skill, listening. Many learners focus only on speaking, but listening is just as important. When you listen carefully, you learn how people speak, what words they use, how sentences sound. And the more you listen, the more natural your speaking becomes. So when you listen to this podcast, do not just listen passively. Try to notice things. Notice how sentences are formed. Notice the rhythm. Notice how ideas connect. For example, I went to the supermarket. I forgot what I needed. I bought the wrong things. Short sentences. Clear structure. You can use the same pattern. Now let us try something together. Repeat this structure. I went to. I saw. I did. Again. I went to. I saw. I did. Now add your own words. I went to the shop. I saw something strange. I did something funny. This is how you build fluency. Simple patterns. Repeated practice. Now let me tell you another short story. One day I was walking and listening to music. I felt relaxed. Everything was good. Then I started walking in the wrong direction. Completely wrong. I did not notice for 10 minutes. When I finally checked my phone, I realized I was far from where I needed to be. At that moment, I had two choices: get angry or laugh. I laughed. Because honestly, it was a classic situation, walking confidently in the wrong direction. That is a perfect description of many situations in life. And again, it became a story. Now imagine telling it in English. I was walking and listening to music. I was relaxed, but I was going in the wrong direction. That is a clear story, simple but effective. Now let us talk about fear. Fear is one of the biggest problems in language learning. Fear of mistakes, fear of speaking, fear of being judged. But here is something important. Most people are not judging you. They are busy thinking about their own problems. So when you speak English, people are usually happy that you are trying. They respect the effort, and even if you make a mistake, it is not a big problem. Let me give you a simple idea. Think about a child learning to speak. Do they speak perfectly? No. Do they make mistakes? Yes. Do they stop speaking? No. They continue, and that is why they improve. So maybe we should learn from that. Now let us do another quick repetition. Repeat after me. I am not afraid to make mistakes. I can speak step by step. I'm improving every day. Again, I'm not afraid to make mistakes. I can speak step by step. I'm improving every day. Good. Now let us return to our main idea. Your life is interesting, not because of big events, but because of small details. Maybe today you had a short conversation. Maybe you saw something unusual. Maybe you made a small mistake. These are your stories, and when you start collecting these stories, something changes. You start enjoying communication, you start feeling more confident, and your English becomes more natural. Now here is a small challenge. Tomorrow, try to notice 3 things. 1 funny thing, 1 strange thing, 1 normal thing. Then try to describe them in English, out loud. That is your practice. That is your progress. Now let me finish this part with 1 simple thought. You do not need a different life to speak better English. You need a different way of looking at your life. That is enough. This is Alex, still walking in the wrong direction sometimes, but always finding a story in it. I will see you soon. Take care and keep noticing the small things.